everybody, and thank you for coming back to 50 and Unfiltered. I'm Leslie Casey Blake. I need you to click and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Songstress 100. And I want to thank everybody who has supported me through this wonderful journey of becoming a YouTube talk show host. Had a fun-filled night again. We're going to have my girl Veronica. We're going to talk about our segment, and we're going to have an interview with my girl Lakeisha Banks talking about Girl Power Unleashed Ministry. So we're excited about this wonderful show. So a quick note, you're going to always see me draped in paparazzi. I'm a paparazzi consultant. So please, 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 if you're interested in any of the pieces I'm wearing, DM me. I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. And Instagram is the page you want to go to. Leslie Casey Blake Official. So come on and DM me. They're just $5, y'all. Just $5. Holla. So I'm not going to keep you anymore. We're going to go ahead with the show. Click and subscribe. You're going to love it. All right, guys. You know, we have our segment, and today is a two-parter segment, because I think it's important that we talk about what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And you say, huh? What? Huh? You know, because it's twofold here. There's certain things that, we thought we wanted to do at a certain age and didn't do it, and then later on did it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Mm-hmm. So Veronica and I, my girl Hello. Veronica.
How you doing, sissy?
Yes. I had to bring her back. So let me just say this real quick, and I know we're kind of timed here, but let me say,
that's okay.
I had to bring her back because we got so many wonderful feedback from the first show. Yes. They were just like, oh my gosh, you guys got to do something again. So Veronica, she's like a permanent fixture. Now I can't get rid of her. Sorry.
I'm a joker after the show.
No, I love it. No, I love her, and we vibe so well.
We connect together. Yeah. That's it. We just work well together. We just work together.
And so today we're going to kind of talk about our own experiences in dealing with that, and saying that we were 40s, 50s, and we're still doing things, and so we're making that next chapter in our lives. And we talked about this in the first show. Yeah. But we're just going to be a little more detailed about our lives. I know we talked about business the last time and running a business, but just personal things that happened in our lives. And I know you were saying, Veronica, one of the things that happened for you was having children later. Oh, okay, because you got married later, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So when you talk about that, some women are they're kind of embedded in their brain that, okay, I got to have my children at 25, right? Mm-hmm. I got to be married at a certain age. Sometimes that's not always the case.
That's right.
And you don't want to rush it, because you want to meet that person that's going to fulfill you, and vice versa, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You want to have children in a very positive environment.
Yes, and healthy.
Yeah.
And healthy environment. Yeah.
So how did you feel about that? Did you feel like, well, first of all, did you ever think that you would get married and have children at the age that you had them?
Get married, yes.
Okay.
That was still the hope on the list.
Right.
I had my list of things and my time frame.
I did too.
I had my time frame, and I kept going back to my list as time was going by. I kept going back to my list, and I was like, okay, God,
Right.
So it was that time frame. So as time kept going, as I was getting older and time was passing, the marriage part was still high up there. Mm-hmm. The babies, it was coming down, so I think when I got married at 37, that was still kind of like early for marriage.
Right. Yeah.
But you teeter-totter for the kids, as far as I'm concerned, So once we got married, we worked on it right after the wedding.
Right.
Literally on the honeymoon. It was on the break. So and
my godson was born. He didn't know it yet. Yeah, my godson.
So like, it was crazy because I got married and then we got pregnant instantly, like a couple months. So, and then I had BJ before our actual first anniversary. He actually went out with us on our anniversary. So to me, at first, I felt a little robbed. I was like, oh, well, I didn't have a chance just to be wife.
Yeah.
Because now I stepped into wife mode and then I stepped into mommy mode. So I didn't have that much space because we was figuring, hey, we want to have kids.
Right.
So we didn't have that chance in that bracket to be married for about 3 or 4 years.
Right.
We just didn't, Yeah. And so, like I said, I stepped into wifey and mother at the same time, and then I thought that was it.
Right.
Having BJ at 38 was it. Well, it was my plan, but it was not hubby plan. And absolutely.
That was her plan. But okay.
But it totally was. I had a little rough pregnancy, not as rough, but I had to be on bed rest. But after BJ, I was like, okay, we got one in.
Yeah.
At 38, we got one in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we good.
Right.
So here it is, 38. We have BJ. We got him in. I got married.
Right.
Had him. We're good.
Right. And that was it.
As I thought. And then he popped up at 43.
Yeah.
43. 4-3.
Yes.
We had Braden.
Yeah.
And so I'm like.
And he's a character too.
You can tell I had him later in life.
That was a character.
You can tell at 43.
Yeah.
That was a big surprise for me.
I'm sure.
In a sense. Sure. It wasn't a surprise for my husband because he was playing it the whole time. Right. Me not knowing, but it was a big surprise. Yeah. And but now that I look back seriously, I'm so glad we had both of them. Yeah. But just at the age that I am, I'm now 41. Yeah. BJ is 51. See, that's another thing. When you wait too old when you have kids. But, BJ is 12 and Braden is 8, right?
Right.
And I'm 51 and my husband is 54.
Right.
So we are, like I said, we are the parents that may go to the school and they may think we're their grandparents. Well, not me. But I'm just saying that is the age back then as grandparents. Yes. How many people you see. Yes. But now I see so many people of our age that have kids. Yes. Sometimes you don't see it until you're in the situation. Right. Yep. But like you were saying earlier, I'm glad that we waited because now that I am married and had the kids, we are in a healthy environment, a more stable environment. And like you said, you want that connection because you can have them younger. But if it's not there, the marriage is not healthy, and you make better decisions and wiser decisions because you're older.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But
and it's common now. More women are having children past their 40s and some. Yeah. I mean, we've got people, the 50s, and then you hear some of the entertainers like Janet Jackson, and they're like in their 50s having their first child.
But then they have a whole entourage to help them with them.
True.
They have a whole entourage. So it is a difference. Like I told you.
But they don't have to. Think about it. You don't gotta be bothered. I mean, I'm just saying, you don't gotta have all the stress of doing all that. Like, really? But
if you can get them in and get them out
at
early age, but you have that connection, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your partner, and you're in a healthy environment that the children can be raised in a healthy environment, then get them in and get them out because I just make it look good. It really is a lot of work. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's tiring, but it's so much worth it. Yes. I can't imagine at that time, young in my 20s, and I was not ready.
And that's, and your story, for a lot of people now is very important to hear because it's I won't say it's a new thing, but a lot more people are doing it. A lot of women, they already said a lot of women are waiting to have children because they want to have careers and things like that. And so that is a common thing now. And it's okay, and you can do it. Is it rough sometimes? She's telling you it's rough. That's right. So, but I think that I always believe in everything happens for a reason. And I know, like, for me,
Yes.
you know, I wanted to go to school in New York when I was 18. That's all I wanted to do. I was from Pittsburgh. I was like, I gotta get out of here. It's time to go. Time to go. So I said I wanted to get out and do that, but unfortunately I didn't get into any of the schools I applied to. So I'm like, well, dang, you know. So I went through my little whatever, and I knew, like, at 14, I always wanted to go to New York. I always knew it was a dream. Yes, I was like, oh, I've got to be here.
Young lady.
Yeah, and you know, but I was like, and then never, you know, didn't get the chance. But then I had an opportunity, literally like 20 years later.
Look at that.
I was able to live in New York for like 4 years, and was able to sing and all those different things I was able to do. And it was just so thrilling to be able to do that. And I say, you know, it was like in my 30s. I was in my late 30s, and I was there, and I was doing things, and I was making things happen as much as I could. And I felt like if I had did this at 18, 19, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. You know,
at the same mature level. Like, times bring forth maturity. You know, like I said, sometimes we can have things way before we need them. You know, prematurely. So sometimes we have to let time. We have to allow our maturity level to catch up with time.
Yes.
You know,
and that's exactly what happened with me. And I'm just thankful because, you know what, too, for me, it was great that I was able to experience that, because like right after that, I moved back to Maryland because I lived there before, and then I moved to New York. It's a long story. We can talk about this all day.
That's on another show.
That's another show. Like I said, this is a two-parter because we get ready to wrap this up. So this is a two-parter. But it's funny because, you know, I came back, and like 2 years later, I met my husband.
Wow.
Actually, a year later, really, when you think about it, I met my husband. So, no, it was 2. I'm sorry, guys. It was 2. It was 2. It was in 2012. Wow. So I moved back here in 2010, and I met my husband in 2012. But, you know, I got all that stuff out of me, the whole New York thing, and living out and being who I was and everything like that. And now I found this partner that, you know, allows me to do some things, you know, not on the level I was doing them in New York right now, but then, you know, slowly got back into, you know, doing some other things like this show, where my husband supports it, and just knowing that, I guess to say that if things happen later, it's okay.
That's right.
If things are happening later that you didn't think was going to happen before, it's okay.
So, Leslie, saying that, I'm going to ask you this question. So, you going to New York, which was years after you have dreamed, over like 20 years, okay? So, you're saying that. You're saying that it was delayed but not denied.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You're saying that although you had the vision, it was just the timing.
Yes.
Okay, so when you left New York to come back to Maryland, did you ever think, or was it in your radar, or were you even thinking about you were going to get married? Was that something that you was still like, because you had a desire to go to New York. At what stage in life did you like that clock started ticking about you being married?
Well, I was married before. I was married young, and unfortunately we divorced, you know, and you know, I was okay with that because I was like, I was young. So I was like 28 when I divorced. So I was like, okay, I'm good. But then as I got older, you know, especially when I was in my 30s, I started thinking about it. And then when I came back to Maryland, I was really like, oh, I don't know.
But what's the time factor on?
But I honestly, I'm going to be honest, a little bit that I was like, I don't know if that was going to happen when I moved back here. I think I was just trying to do a new career in teaching and things like that. Okay. So that was kind of
wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't there yet. And then it sprung on me. It came out of nowhere.
And I ask you that because sometimes, you know, when we have that dream or whatever on top, but it's not coming to pass, you know, sometimes we like push it in the back.
That's true.
Or we take it off the list.
That's true.
You know, because it's not happening.
That's true too.
You know, and we start to replace other things with that.
Yeah.
We'll take that off the list and put something else because it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So now you're going to get married? Oh, no, I don't think so. But why you don't think so? Because it hasn't happened yet. You know?
Right.
And when I moved here, marriage, like you said, I met my husband within 1 month. So,
you know, right?
I wasn't planning on it. You know? So I asked you that to say, like you said, it's never too late.
Yeah. It's never, ever too late. You can live the rest of your life doing the things you want to do, right?
That's right.
You can live the rest of your life planning projects and everything like that. And when we say rest of your life, that means that if it didn't happen earlier on,
doesn't mean it can't.
That next chapter is now. The next chapter is now. So, but guess what? We ain't done.
We gotta go.
We ain't done. We gotta go. But we ain't done. We're gonna come back to this because the reason why Veronica and I have very interesting stories in our journey to here. Just even us being together.
Yeah.
And we have a very special journey, and we want to share those things with you. We just can't do it all in one show. But definitely keep that in mind. Keep that, you just keep pushing, keep grinding.
Right. Keep
do what you got to do all the
time.
Until
you have no more time.
That's right.
Until if you got the time, you have the time to do it.
That's right.
Do it till you have no more time.
So when we come back on our next show,
we shall be back.
We'll be back. We'll be back, y'all.
Bye-bye.
See you later. See you later.
As the cruise ship say, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, girl.
Hey.
I got my girl, my cuz, my entrepreneur, Lakeisha Banks, who is the founder of Girl Power Unleashed Ministries. And I mean, you're talking about changing the way ministry is being done and how women are being put into the limelight. And I just had to share this. And Lakeisha's coming to us all the way from Orange, New Jersey. Yes, Orange, New Jersey. My hubby, her cousin's hometown. So thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Old apartment, everything. It's crazy, right? Who would have known that? Girl. So let's just get right into it. Let's get started. So when did you decide to create this wonderful ministry that I see so frequently on Facebook? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, originally it was named Girl Power, and it started about 2007. And it was along when I was associated with another ministry, and just wanted to create an outlet and a platform for women.
Right.
As women, we do so much. We're wives, we're mothers, we're confidants and psychiatrists and everything. So I just wanted to create this platform in church at the time, but a safe haven at the same time. Kind of dwindled off after going through my separation and divorce. Because at that time, I did not feel like the girl power I was trying to exude. I didn't feel like I had it at that time because I was going through my own situation.
Right.
So it was by the wayside for about 5-6 years until one day I ran into someone and they asked me, whatever happened to Girl Power? Like, you had me so engaged, and I look forward to always coming and being in your presence. We would do it once a month at that time. And I felt so bad. I felt bad because I felt like there were other women that felt like her, that I just left you by the wayside. And I kind of felt selfish because, I was going through my own thing. And I didn't care about what anybody else, thought at that time. I was just concerned about me. And then it kind of just reignited the fire. And I prayed and I asked God, do I bring it back the same way? Or, I just asked him for a freshness and a newness. So hence the name Girl Power Unleashed.
Yes, I love that. I love the unleash part, because when you talk about you were going through a divorce and I've been through a divorce, and we know that takes a lot out of you.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and sometimes you don't feel like you can give yourself to other people in that way, because you're dealing with all those emotions.
Yes.
Of separation. Yeah. So that's crazy, you know. But then when you find yourself again,
yes,
like that, like you said, that girl power, it is unleashed.
Yes. Yes. And that's why unleashed is in all caps.
Yes. Yes.
I try to emphasize the boldness of it, just coming out.
Wow.
Whatever it is, just come out of it.
And I'm glad you made that note. So we're going to make sure everybody see unleashed in capital letters. So what was, I mean, I know you talked a little bit about it, kind of hinted on it, but what was your mission and purpose when you created it?
The mission and purpose started for women. And it's funny because I actually have the same amount of men supporters as the women.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
So I kind of revamped. Now, you know, it is about girl power, but it's just about power of people, power, you know, of the man and the woman, because sometimes we overlook the men and think that they don't go through, you know, the strains and things that we go through. They just go through it a little differently. So the purpose is to actually ignite the power inside the person and help them find their purpose and their meaning for being here and on their path, because I believe that everyone has their own path. We end up at the same destination, but we all take different paths to get there. Right. And I always say, you know, see you at the finish line. I'll see you at the finish line. So the purpose is just to ignite the fire within, you know, the zeal and the desire. A lot of times we've gotten stagnant and comfortable in, you know, a place of lack or just a place of lowness, a low place. So it's like, you know, now I think girl power is meant to be that mirror to allow you to see yourself and see the good in you. So that way you can stir up the good and get back in your place and kind of like unleash this beast that's always been on the inside of you. Yes,
yes. I love that. I think that, and you know, just going with my own nonprofit, it you know, started off being for women. And then, like, you know, I met your cousin, which is my husband.
Yes.
And he's like, hey, I like this. Like, we need to, you know, and then he get his friend. So I had men. And like, you have to kind of revamp the whole situation, but it is, you know, you can still have that girl power, that girl meaning in there. But you know what? There's a lot of men out there that love to support that, and I think that's, you know, that's the one thing that we need to acknowledge, that men do support women, their mission and their purpose, and I'm so glad that happened to you as well. You know, so with that too, and just thinking about that. How do you think, you know, the ministry is changing in this new environment? You know, we've got social media, you know, we have more women, you know, really being the head, more women becoming pastors at church.
Yes.
How do you think, you know, how is that for you? Because you've been in ministry a long time, even though this part is kind of, I won't say new, but this is kind of the springboard right now. But you've been in ministry a long time, so you've seen the back doors and front doors of that.
I think it used to be called like the Good Old Boys Club. Wow. And I believe that it was very hard for women back then to even be acknowledged, you know, because they believe that women ought to be quiet. And don't get me wrong, I believe everybody has their place. And not that I'm trying to be the head, but I'm just in my place. So now I think the Good Old Boys Club has been bombarded.
Yes.
with some bad women.
Right.
I honestly did not have to go through that part of the struggle. I came in, because now we have Juanita Bynum, we have, all these women who are very significant in the Christian world, which has made it easier for men to respect. And it's not so much respecting me, but just respecting the anointing.
Yes.
Respecting, the power that lays within us, because, if it was not for us, a lot of these ministries would not even be here, would not even, flourish the way that they are. So I think, I know there's a little bit left of the Good Old Boys Club because they have to hold on, to what they created. But I think the level of respect for women in ministry is a lot higher than what it was years ago.
Wow. Yeah, and that's a very interesting point you said, good old boy. And it's that same tune. You see it in a lot of places where women have, as they say, broken the glass ceiling. That a lot of times it's just the men in the good old boys club, and they don't want us there. And that was a whole kind of mindset for years, and I say that's why I say it's nice to see men who are being supportive now of women doing their thing and saying, okay, yes, break that ceiling and do what you got to do. Yeah. Because, you find that women are doing so many things now, and they're doing it also too. This is why we do the show. They're doing it a little bit later in life, in the sense that we're not traditional, not starting in our 20s and 30s. We've had children, some of us, or just living our lives or trying to find ourselves. And then the 40s and 50s, and then it's like, I found myself, I found this wonderful project or this wonderful mission for me, and here I am. I'm moving forward. Exactly. So I think it's great that women are doing that more. So now that you're kind of doing a lot more, and I see you a lot, on Facebook, and you're doing some really great things. So what is Unleashed plan to do or is doing in the community? What's type of things that you're planning for that?
Well, now that the weather's changing, and with this pandemic going on, it's kind of a fight to remain relevant now that we are not really unable to go indoors the way that we used to be. So in that, you have to think outside the box, and I thank God for social media. So it helps, and I like to call it Unleashed. I like it. It helps to remain relevant. I try to do 2 events a week on, Facebook, social media. I constantly post, whether it's just a quote or, a Bible verse or a thought. But now that the world is like different, it's so very different now. And I was actually scared of stepping out during this time with all the struggles now, on being inside and outside. And
right.
Now the focus pretty much is kind of staying relevant on social media, but then also doing what we can for the community. So we will be volunteering during the holidays for, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and maybe some monthly if I can find. Well, I'm in the process of finding somewhere stable, because it's one thing to have a ministry, but people are looking for stability.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
So if I can just partner up with a soup kitchen maybe once a month and be in that place for that time. So right now it's just more outreach, soup kitchens and things of such. As the world opens up more and more, we will move back to spiritual services once a month. And then whatever else God gives me, like I want crazy ideas. I don't want church as usual. I don't even want church. I want an experience.
Yeah.
Everybody does church. And I think during this pandemic, when the doors of the churches do open back up, the grade of people, the type of people, the attitude of people is going to be so much different than what it was prior to the pandemic. I feel like they're going to come back with, no games. they're really going to sit down and want to learn more about God, and they're going to want people to be honest and open, because we're going to have some answers for the people that come back, to what happened for the past 6 or 7 months, and, why did God allow this, or, so we have to be so very prepared. So whatever off the wall ideas he gives me, I'm going to be excited about it. And I'm going to work my work.
Yes, good vibes. Yes, good vibes. I love it. And that's what you have to do. I mean, this pandemic has just uprooted everything that we know and grew up with, and just all of that has just went out the window. And I know that, there's going to be things that are not going to be the same when we do go back to being around each other and sharing things and things like it's not going to be the same. And there are, when you think about it in the spiritual sense, there are people who wonder why is this happening? Why would God allow this to happen? I mean, you're going to have a lot of people having all these like multiple feelings about what's going on. And I think that, and also the things that they're going through within the pandemic, not even just that, but just the personal things. People have lost jobs and maybe relationships, or just struggling with anxiety, all those things that people are going to be dealing with. And they're going to need something, like you said, maybe something different and not something like traditional to do it, because people, it's been an untraditional time, so they're gonna need some untraditional methods to get themselves back to life. So I think that's, when you say that, you want something crazy and untraditional, I think that's where we're at. I really do. I think your ministry will benefit from that. Now, tell me real briefly about your On the Couch. I don't know if that is associated with Unleash, or that's just kind of a new thing. And I love that you have it, I believe, like every Thursday or something like that, or Tuesdays.
Yes, every Thursday.
Yes, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Is On the Couch with Lakeisha, and it is under the umbrella of Girl Power Unleashed. I came up with that idea maybe in the beginning of February, because I had my first show February 13th.
Wow.
I didn't make it home that day to be on the couch, so I did my first episode in the car. I was, if you know me, that was basketball season. I was being a basketball mom, and we had just gotten out of the game, and I said, I need to, again, be consistent. So I said, it's almost 9 o'clock, let me start.
Right.
And that came about with just wanting to create, again, a platform, a comfortable platform, a safe platform to talk about the things that nobody's talking about.
Yeah.
So we talked about, some of my past themes have been, talking about accountability, picking up the pieces, just moving forward, and wanting to talk about other stuff besides the pandemic. Because that's what everything was, the death toll and, the COVID-19 tolls and things like that. And I just kind of wanted to shift it and talk about some funny things. Now I like it because it's a natural show with a spiritual twist.
Right.
Kind of in and out from the natural to the spiritual, because I have all types of people who tune in. That tune into the show. And sometimes when I'm looking for an interactive moment, we'll jump to Zoom. And sometimes we'll be on Zoom calls, so that way I can, talk to them and hear their voice and hear what they think and what's on their mind. So it was just something to do, but something to do with a purpose.
Right.
And I really saw good things coming out of it. I think one of my videos reached maybe 600 views. So I was excited.
Wow. Awesome.
Moving forward. And I'm just grateful to the ones who come back each and every Thursday faithfully, and not only come back, but they share, they comment, they sow into the ministry. So it's just a good thing all the way around. We call it our weekly therapy.
Yeah, and I have to watch it. I'm right now working like a dog with the educational piece, so
Really.
I'm trying to like relax after 8 o'clock, because I'm like, I gotta get up in the morning and there's things I gotta do. So, but I am definitely gonna check it out and definitely promote that show for you, because it's very important. And again, just supporting each other and with all the things that we're doing, and to just to keep it moving. And one last thing, what's your advice? I always ask all these people, because everybody's starting something new. What's your advice on just starting something like this?
My advice is to stay focused. Stay focused. Learn not to share everything with other people. And not that it's a bad thing, but when you allow opinions to mess up your vision, you will fall.
Amen.
And a lot of times, like I said on one of my lives, we talked about the fear of failing. And a lot of times people wouldn't know that we failed if we've never told them the vision in the first place.
Right.
So, I would say just keep focused, because just like we have a plan and God has a plan, the enemy has a plan as well to, kind of get us off track and hit us upside the head with life. It's been many a times where I've dealt with something on a Thursday, and the devil always comes for me on a Thursday.
Yeah.
On a Thursday. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting on tonight, and it just is what it is. But it's those that, like my brothers, my cousins, and they're just like, oh no, you have to get on tonight. You have to. So it's a good thing to stay focused. It's a good thing to have an accountability team, not friends. Not friends. When you have an accountability team, they know your vision. They hold you to your vision. They hold you to what you say. And I found that an accountability team is so much better than a friendship. Because they have your best interests at heart. They have your vision at heart. And those are the people that you can share with. So I would say to anyone starting anything, stay focused. Don't be afraid to do as the Bible says and write the vision. Make it plain. And it's also a roadmap. When you write it down, it's also a roadmap. And when you write it, it's also a way where God can see it and help you just follow through on your vision. So he sees it, you read it to him, and he just maps it all out. So stay focused, keep folk out your business. Keep that first, and he will bless you with the desires of your heart.
Oh, I love the way you ended that. That is like awesome, and Lakeisha Banks.
Yes.
You are like fabulous young lady. Fabulous. Lakeisha Banks is the founder of Girl Power Unleashed.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And if you want to see her on Facebook, she's on the couch.
Yes.
On the couch on Thursdays at 9 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
9 p.m. You got to see her live. Facebook Live. That's like the new social media thing.
Right.
I gotta start going live. I gotta do all that stuff. That's how you gotta do it. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. I appreciate you. Love you so much. Continue to do what you do. You are inspiring. All these women are so exciting. So I just appreciate you. This is 50 and Unfiltered, the interview with Lakeisha Banks. Thank you. Hey hunties, it's me again. We're talking about Entertainment Under 2, and tonight we're going to discuss WA pay. Okay, so Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion has lit up the world, I could say, with this song, WAP. I am not going to say what the acronym means, but I think you have the hint. But anyway, I wanted to just say a few things about that, because there were people who are taken aback by such a provocative song. I mean, they really came out like big bosses and said, hey, this is how we feel, this is what we want, and this is how we're gonna be. Okay. But you know what? Regardless of how you feel about the song, I mean, think about the fact that they're able to do that and just be able to put that on their bully pit and just say, hey, this is how we feel. Okay. So a lot of the people are saying, well, what about, the people who look up to you, the younger people that look up to them, right? And I get it. Like, there are certain things that you wouldn't want your child to watch or whatever like that. But, I think that everybody has to have their own guidance to that, right? People are going to be who they are. And that goes for entertainers. Entertainers are entertainers. They entertain us. They give us a certain style. We already know what Cardi B's style is. I mean, I like her. Is she a bit much sometimes? But I mean, hey, she's being true. She is sharing her truth, y'all. So I can't be mad at Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion for sharing their truth. So, hey, but I gotta say, dang, they really went there. Hey guys, this is Leslie Casey Blake with Entertainment Under 2. Yes, auntie. Thank you, and for another exciting show. Want to thank my guest Veronica Oden and also Lakeisha Banks. And you look out for a new show in October. So until then, be safe, be kind to one another, and wear that mask. Good night.